Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the barbecue and the cornbread because I sure did. All right, we're going to get started on our final roundtable of the 2025 TCU Faculty Convening. Hello, hello. Good, good. All right, so I am pleased to introduce the presenter for this session, Ursula Pawlowski. Ursula is certified in online teaching and as an external course reviewer by Quality Matters. She's also a senior certified professional in human resources. She's been applying best practices in grade equity as an online instructor for the past 10 years. She's from Chicago and has a master's degree in human resource management and development. And today she will talk with us about grading for equity in higher education and the implications for TCUs. Looking forward to this. Thank you, Ursula.
Thanks for staying motivated and being here for our last session. We've done prayers at the beginning of sessions. If we could just take a moment and just kind of thank ourselves for being here, being part of the conference, attending, and really being able to be open-minded, not just for this, but for all of the sessions that we've been able to participate in. And if anyone would like to say a prayer in Navajo. All right, so let's get started. So grading for equity in higher education. So think of the first time, as I wore my HR hat, think of the first time you got a real full-time salaried position. This might even be before you turned into a faculty member. Think of the first time that you missed a deadline. You were given ample time to create that project plan, create that assignment from your supervisor. Think of the first time that you missed your deadline. Did you get written up? Did you get fired? Were you suspended? Probably not. And in the real world, you would probably say to your supervisor, I know this is due tomorrow, Friday, today's Thursday, I need more time, but not only with more time, I need a little bit more clarity. Can we meet to find more resources, directions that you could give me, right? So when we look at grading for equity, we kind of want to put that same premise into practice. And I recently went to Northern Arizona University. Instead of saying best practices, wise practices. So hopefully you'll be able to pick up a couple things and maybe implement at least one when you get back to your institution. So again, happy to connect after. If you wanted to get more information or just share what you're doing in your institution. I wanted to share this artifact here. It's a piece that was welded by some students. And this was their final project. So you think, how would we grade for something like this? Is there a test? Obviously, a final artifact, a final project would show competency in demonstrating knowledge. But what if they didn't pass a written test on welding? Would you have the heart to give someone a D or an F? Probably not. So we just, again, want to think about different ways that we can assess knowledge. So just a quick summary about Navajo Tech University. We have 6 locations, 69 programs. About 35% of our faculty have a doctoral degree. And of those 35, 6 are American Indian. We have a small student to faculty ratio. 43% are Indigenous, 42 are Dene. And we have had a nice success rate from a persistence program completion, degree completion. So again, our students are probably no different than the students that you have, diverse backgrounds, first gen, Navajo. We do have I want to say it was 62% female to male over the age of 24. But as we're all exposed to, they do have limited access to the internet for a wide variety of reasons. We have tried our best to come up with hotspots, giving them resources and tools to where they could go and access Wi-Fi. But again, we know that sometimes driving 100 miles just to have access to Wi-Fi is not an option. So then you start thinking about, I don't have access to Wi-Fi. It's 10 o'clock Sunday, and I have to submit my work because the assignment's going to close at 11:59 p.m. And if I don't submit, I'll get a 0. Is that really equitable? Some students are facing trauma, personal challenges, and we know that typically the student will not share any obstacles even after we ask, is everything okay? Do you need help? Usually they won't ask for that until deadlines and due dates are passed. So again, today we're just going to go through what has been working for us, sharing our journey with you, and seeing if perhaps it's something that you have already been putting into practice. Here we have a picture of Dr. Irene. She's teaching biology. She teaches online, virtually, and on campus. So she has been trying HighFlex, which many of you, I'm sure, know. You could have students in the classroom. You could have them on Zoom. And it works, and not that a student would have the option to come in and out 1 week in person, 1 week on Zoom. But again, the more flexibility that we have, the better it is for the student's success. So again, we'll kind of go through the presentation from a lens of, yes, the instructor, but again, kind of putting yourself in the shoes of when you were a student, when you were a recent grad, and how you were treated with assessments, due dates, deadlines, etc. So again, we'll try to go high tech. We've got a QR code here. Think about, what does grade equity mean to you? You can either use the QR code or you can put in the link here, polev.com. Ursula Pawlowski 857 for those of you that don't have a smartphone with a QR code. And let me see if I can launch the first poll. And I'm trying to do Control Tab, but it's not taking me to the. Where's the other one? All right. So go ahead and put in your response. How would you describe grade equity in 1 or 2 or 3 words? And for those of you that don't have a device and you want to go old school, you want to just shout out your 3 words, your 1 or 2 words, you can do that as well. Looks like we have some responses coming in. All right, it's working. So it looks like fair is the common denominator for your responses. Great question. What does it mean to be fair? "45 seconds. Great responses. Thank you. "20 seconds. Last thoughts? So it looks like we have fair, understanding, traditional, grading, equity, transparent, traditional, compassion, rubric. All right. So you can see, everyone has their own perception of what grade equity is. All of these answers are correct. So give yourselves a round of applause for putting in the correct answers. All right, great. So let's see if we could toggle back. All right. So according to, and I'm not endorsing this book by Joel Friedman, Grading for Equity, but this published author tells us that grading for equity focuses on accurately describing student achievement. It's empathy for students being channeled into meaningful actions that enhance learning, transparency, flexibility, support that enables the students to thrive. So we probably have a quiz leading to an exam. We have assignments that might be scaffold. There's many approaches to measuring success, measuring competency. All are correct. But again, we just need to determine what has a higher weight, what has a lower weight. Is everything weighted the same? Do some activities not have a score, a weight? It's just you completed it. Great, thank you. So again, we just need to think of what's going to be fair, equitable, empathetic to the student when it comes to assessing knowledge. So traditionally, you'll get a score, right? Here's your quiz, 10 questions, multiple choice, true, false, 10 minutes, 10 questions. Oh my goodness, I only have 10 minutes. The stress and the panic starts kicking in. Many of you might have taken some time tests for licensure, certifications. Think about when you went to your motor vehicle department to get your license and you had to take a written test, even though you've been driving for so long. Just the fact that you have to take an exam, a test, if you didn't pass, you lost your license. Pretty traumatic. Sometimes these assessments for students are pretty traumatic, not even thinking about what trauma they might have experienced before these assessments happen. So start to think and consider your current grading methods that you have. So we heard about the AI this morning and how that can help us with curriculum design. We then heard Megan talk about how that curriculum design leads to fairness amongst the faculty with students. Now we have to think about, now we're getting to the end stage, right? We've completed the course, we've designed the course. Now, how are we going to grade and assess the student? So again, thinking about some challenges. Most of our students are first gen. Most do not have that support system outside of our institutions of how to study, how to prepare, how to be mindful, how to take care of themselves before assessments, how to plan their week if a paper is due on Sunday. We all know reality is if it's due 11:59, students are probably starting it at 10, 11 o'clock, maybe even 11:45. And that's just not because they're not committed to the process or dedicated. They just have so many things that they're working on in their lives. They have family, work, sometimes 2 jobs, and then school. School is the priority, but they have all these other things that they have to take care of. Sometimes their computer skills are not where they need to be. Sometimes, like I said, the Wi-Fi, the internet is not with them, accessible. Sometimes they don't have access to electricity. It's just a wide variety of items. So we, again, need to think about what is going to be equitable. So our goal is to really think about reducing the burden on the student from a numbers perspective. When we ask them to participate in a discussion, to introduce themselves to their peers and reply to 2 other peers, usually in an online course. That's not really going to be stressful. Sometimes they think that it's fun, especially if we ask them, can you create a digital reflection instead of just typing out your introduction? But then, oh my goodness, what do I say? How do I reply to another student? I need to do that because I need the points. Yes, you get the points, but can we try to remove some of that burden from the anxiety that students receive from that activity? Again, thinking about reducing the weight of homework in our grading. Yes, we have work to do outside of the classroom, but is it a 50% of the grade, 25% of the grade? Or is it just, hey, thanks for doing it, and you checked in, so you get maybe 1 point? Again, just depending on the instruction, the course, the type. It's really an emphasis on the tool to prepare, but it really should not be a punitive measure. And we talked about how we should consider not having punitive measures within our courses. So can we include some projects, some activities that really measure the success, the competency of the material from the student, as I showed you that welding project. If a student was able to single-handedly come up with that artifact, I would say that they would get an A+. Not only did they do well, it's now featured right when you drive into campus, and it really shows excellence in the knowledge. Could the students in a course do a field trip, do a project, do a virtual scavenger hunt, do something in pairs? Again, there's so many things that we could do instead of just writing out an activity, looking up something, summarizing, synthesizing that resource. Again, what can we do? Short, frequent quizzes are probably something that you all do. Have you considered multiple attempts? So perhaps a student does a quiz. For whatever reason, they were nervous, their computer froze, they got a 50%. Is it fair to take that 50% and apply that to their grade? Could you tell them that they have 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours before they repeat the quiz? There's another series of questions that they could take, so it's not going to be identical. There'll probably be a test bank that would be in that for that quiz. And then you could take either the highest score of the 2 attempts, you could take an average of the 2. Again, what can we do to kind of minimize that stress? Again, hands-on projects, journaling, another way to show competency on the topic. So maybe it's a journaling activity between the student and the instructor so that they can really gather their thoughts in an open, honest, transparent perspective. They're not going to be worried about who's going to see what I write, and they will really be able to write from the heart. Some instructors, they provide an opportunity for extra credit. Some instructors will say, no extra credit, that's it. They might talk about extra credit at the beginning of the course. So it wouldn't be something that you would say 2 weeks left of the course, hey, I'm going to come up with some extra credit activities so that you can make up some points. Because again, if it's not in the syllabus, we really should not change anything. So again, regular check-ins with students so that they understand their needs and your need for them to understand. What's worked for us, we put together a syllabus quiz at the beginning of the term. We found that students knew, but they sometimes have amnesia about, hey, if you're in an online class, you need to have reliable, dependable computers, access to Wi-Fi. Having this syllabus quiz, low points, but it was just a way that we were able to validate that they understood the needs, the demands that they had to have. to be successful in the class. Something else in the syllabus quiz was, I know how to reach my instructor in case I have any obstacles with submitting work. I know that it is my responsibility to participate and engage in a course. And if I'm not engaged for more than 7 days, I could be withdrawn from the course. Again, just having that simple language in a syllabus quiz really went a long way, instead of students saying, I didn't know, no one told me. And then just a commitment and a consistency from the student's perspective. If we have a 16-week course, and if you are firm about late work, can you be equitable to say, instead of 11:59 as your due date time, can you say that it must be submitted by 8 a.m.? Because again, we know that sometimes students will start at 11:45. There's no way they're going to be able to finish in 15 minutes. So just to give them that extra time, certainly we are not up at midnight checking to see who has submitted and who hasn't. We're not going to start reviewing that, but just giving them that extra time, because again, there might be family responsibilities that they might have to do, sick child, someone coming home from work. Just that extra time could go a long way. And again, they'll view us as being empathetic, compassionate. So some other techniques, obviously we talked last night about the AHEC Student Conference, Skills USA, we've got research days. Again, could this be an activity that you kind of have a cafeteria model? Here are some activities that we'd like you to participate. You select what you'd like to participate. Everyone should be able to participate in one. So again, it would be able to validate concepts, theories that you're teaching in that course, but it really gives the students a different perspective instead of them just doing a quiz on paper in the classroom or on Blackboard or Canvas or Brightspace. It really gives them that hands-on experience participating with other students on a hands-on activity. So we have a quick 1-minute video. Here's a perfect example of a student who works 2 jobs, one being on campus. Single mom, has a lot of responsibilities, but yet something as simple as having flexible due dates really got her over the finish line to not only finish her associate's, to finish her bachelor's degree. And because she finished the bachelor's degree in hospitality, she's now been able to accept a really, really nice position, being the catering manager / chef at a golf course. So again, really changing that generational wealth for students. So hopefully I can change view. It's not taking me to the video, the YouTube page. Sorry. Thanks. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, today my name is Michaela Sam, and I am a teacher's aide here at the Culinary Arts program with Navajo Technical University. My clan is the Bethlehem, Tarachini, Tatnazani, and Ma'idiskishni. The variety of assessments that enables me is having more opportunity to pass my courses, and this allows me to learn and gain knowledge. As students, we are very busy throughout our schedules. We try to work on our time management, and this allows us to have an extension, which gives an opportunity to pass our courses. Our mental well-being will be up high due to how our standards are with making sure all our assignments are turned in. As a chef, I want to change the world with bringing more stability by limiting waste on food. I want to finish my degree to gain more experience, knowledge, and opportunities to gain in the kitchen, as well as giving my son a good life.
So Michaela's really kind of the traditional student, so to speak, but yet, if I can toggle back. No, sorry. Again, she's the student that many of us have in class. She's pretty vocal with what her needs are, but we do have so many students that have trauma, have situations to where they don't say anything until it's too late. So again, putting something in your syllabus, if you're not engaged in the class for more than a week, 7 days, you need to follow up with your instructor during student support hours, office hours. You need to connect with your advisors, just so that the expectations are clearly documented so students know the expectation. And knowing that it's okay to not be okay, because some students will say in their mind, if I fail, then the instructor will be disappointed in me, my family will be disappointed in me, and we just need to continue to ensure students it's okay to not be okay, but you do need to communicate what challenges you have and what your needs are. There's some faculty that come from the mindset of if a course is 16 weeks, the first 8 weeks, they won't accept any late work after that. So that could be a way that students know at the midpoint, I need to make sure that I'm caught up, and not to say that they're going to do 8 weeks of work in a weekend, but they know that, hey, midterms are coming, so I need to have all of these activities assignments completed before that practice happens. We've tried to implement practice exams before exams, so a low stake, 10 points, practice exam. Again, because you have a test bank, it's not going to be the identical questions, but it'll be similar questions to what they would have on a midterm, and then do that same practice for finals. Again, it gives students a sense of accomplishment and assurance, like, hey, I did pretty well on that practice exam. I should do well on the real exam. So again, consider something like that so that, again, we're preparing students for those assessments. So again, recommending those biweekly check-ins. Some faculty give those extra points, or there's no penalty for not coming in. But again, letting students know, hey, you did a great job on this assignment. Hey, you did a great job on that quiz, on that midterm. You know, I am concerned that you didn't submit this assignment. So again, just giving them that feedback, whether it's through Zoom, through that office support time, so that they know your expectations. And it does give a way to build those great relationships with your students. Because again, think of when you were a student, some not so long ago. Think about the faculty member that really went above and beyond to share their time with you, giving you a, hey, that was great. Hey, I'm so proud of you. You're an extraordinary student. Just those words of encouragement went a long way and probably inspired you to continue to do great. So again, some retention strategies that we've been trying to measure. Yes, it's helping students get to the finish line to complete the course, but it has helped us with persistence, because obviously if a student is doing well and they get that C, they'll continue on for other classes that might have a prerequisite. So again, it all helps out in the end. When we have our new student orientation, again, we try to encourage and inspire students by letting them know, hey, here's going to be a series of things that you're going to be responsible for in the classroom. So it's not just a midterm and a final and you're done. This is college, so there's going to be more work involved. And especially if it's an online course, there's going to be different activities, different assessments that the student will have to do. Giving that feedback goes a long way. And the other thing that we found is if we ask for the feedback from the students 4 weeks in advance. And let me tell you the vision that we had for that. So how many of you have the same office hours for the last couple of years? Same date, day of the week, same time? So how do you determine your office hour days and time? Obviously, it's probably because of your course assignments, your schedule, but sometimes having office hours from 9 to 10, Monday, Wednesday, 1 to 2, Tuesday, Thursday is great for you. And you wonder, why doesn't anyone come and see me? But it's not a good time for the students. So consider sending out a poll, sending out a poll to the students 4 weeks in advance of your course and giving them some options. Here are some times that I'm considering for office hours, for student support hours. What would you say? What would be a good time for you? Maybe it's the first Thursday of the month. You might have office hours at 6 to 7. Again, it might not be something that works for your schedule, but if a student knew that they could have your attention, your time for 20, 30 minutes, one time a month, again, it might show higher results in the end. So again, try to be flexible and think about how we can meet our students at some point to help them be successful. Encourage them to meet with their advisors, not just to meet to register, but really go in and showcase, tell the story as a student, hey, I'm getting a B, and I thought I was doing not so great, but because I've been doing these activities, I think I'm gonna be able to finish with an A. So again, telling the story. So how do you believe, we'll try another poll question if we can make this work. How do you believe grade equity impacts student motivation and engagement? So if you could help with watching this. So again, this could be just a quick one sentence, just a few words. Thanks. Yes. All right. Got the QR code? Yes. Everyone has the QR code? All right. We're going to open it here in just a second. Just want to make sure you have the code. All right. Yeah, I have to unlock it. They're coming up. Is the second question coming up for you? Okay, great. I did something, sorry. I think I stopped sharing. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right.
It'll disappear.
All right. All right. So let's see. Give students a sense of increased achievement. And again, apologize that we're not able to see all of the, but what I'll be able to do is do a word cloud after, so that everyone can see. This may give students a sense of ownership. Yes, absolutely. Progress acknowledgement, more motivated, more engaged, encouraging. So again, everyone has a hand in the success. It's not just, oh, I didn't pass because the instructor was a tough grader. Oh, I didn't pass because the instructor didn't accept my late work. There's going to be an accountability from both sides. All right. So again, if we could start thinking about how you can develop your action plan. Thanks. It's still saying share pause. You can close that out. Okay. Yes. All right. So if we can start thinking about your action plans, it could be 3 things, 5 things that you've heard today, could be just one thing that you could consider. And then maybe consider sharing some of these approaches with a colleague that you have a good working relationship back at your institution, so that it's not just you putting this into practice, but then you'd be able to see from 2 approaches, 2 instructors at one institution, what could work. No, it's not advancing, sorry. So again, we've covered a lot of information. I appreciate everybody being here for as long as they have been here. We'll put up a note catcher. So in case you wanted to continue in the discussion, share ideas, share obstacles that you'd be able to share with us. It's just a form, a Google form that you can complete, name, email address, and if there's anything that you have already put in place that has been working for you, if you could share that, that would be great. So again, in gratitude of you being here for our last session, again, give yourselves a round of applause for being here, being attentive, saw a lot of people taking pictures or writing notes, which is great. We have had 2 assistants today, Ron and Alexandria. Thank you so much. Give them a round of applause for helping. Yeah. So each one of you has been here. We're going to have a drawing. Heidi, if you could. All right. Pull the winner. And you're thinking, what is the drawing for? So I know our suitcases are packed and we don't have a lot of space for any extra space in our luggage. So the winner is going to receive cash to purchase the book on grading for equity. You can get it from anywhere. You can get a Kindle version as well. But again, it'll be your choice. And the winner is Ryan Wynn, W-I-N-N. So I've got the cash for you as soon as we finish here. So, all right. So any quick things that anyone wants to share, or just one thing that they feel that they're going to be able to go back and implement for their fall course? I know no one's shy. Anyone?
I like the 2-way journaling. That's something I'm like thinking about.
Yeah, it's just a nice way to validate how a student's doing. We might even be able to see if they're struggling outside of the classroom, that we might be able to provide them resources. So it's a nice way to continue that dialogue. Great, thanks for sharing. Anyone else? Yeah, it's just a nice way. You think you've done everything that you need to do, but the students will say, you didn't cover this. Can you cover this again? So it's just a nice way for them to give us feedback. Great. Anyone else? All right. Well, thanks for being here today. Oh, one more. Yes.
I was trying to picture it, now I just forgot.
It's okay.
But it was something with grading that was, the average or highest of the scores. It's something that you kind of hear about, but when you really think about the reason behind the practice, I was like, I need to be doing this more, because I allow like multiple attempts, but just this idea of like really encouraging it and explaining to them.
Yeah. So if they do a quiz and they don't do well, just let them know, hey, there's always going to be a do-over because we have do-overs in life, right? When we present a business plan to our boss, she doesn't say, no, wrong, that's it. They always give us feedback and we always can go back and make corrections. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ursula. That was wonderful. And more door prize drawings. That's amazing. Okay, so we are at the end of our session. Thank you for showing up here for this session this afternoon. If you have any questions, I encourage you to talk with Ursula afterwards or attend her round table that will begin at 3 or 4. I don't know which one you're in. I want to thank everyone for joining us for this session. We have a 15-minute break. Then we're going to reconvene in this room where we will finish out the day. Couple things, we've got snacks outside. We also have a very full giveaway table or a swag swap table. The College Fund put a lot of cool stuff on there too, so please check it out and clean us out.